Hey friends and family, thank you so much for watching my last video titled Wireless Network Security, my 2 favorite tips and a bonus. And reading these emails, I am amazed and excited that in the last week, there have been over 36,000 new views on my videos and more than 50 new subscribers. I am totally blown away by that. I think today's count is actually up to 60. Thank you so much for that. That shows me how excited you guys are about this content, and that is really encouraging to me and gets me really excited about sharing this content. Thank you so much for that and for just interacting and teaching me things. Remember, if you can follow a recipe or a furniture build instructions, you can transform your worry about information security in your home into peace of mind about the safety of your home information system and home network, just by following the steps provided. For those of you who have never seen me before, my name is Daniel Bazzani. I have been working in the IT profession since the last 16 years, and I am still learning new things in this industry so that I can share them with you. Shout out to Ridiculously Cool Guy and Epic Buffalo, who showed me that changing your device access code does not actually limit your ISP's access to your modem. I really didn't know that, and I really appreciate that. They showed me a document called a TR069, the way that the internet service provider can go in and change their settings if they need to, update their settings if they need to. You really can't lock them out, but if someone did want to control your router, that is the access code you would want to change anyway, so just make sure you change that. Thank you guys so much for sharing that with me. Also, big shout out to Ziga, I'm going to murder your last name, but Zej, the CEO of Rabbit Company LLC, for sharing with me how a cloud password manager with end-to-end encryption can be a secure way to store a password. See his comments on YouTube. His account is Rabbit Channel 66. On one of my YouTube shorts, he comments about that, and he gives a really good explanation as to how that end-to-end encryption can ensure that your cloud stored passwords are safe. So I just want to thank you guys for those comments. It showed a lot of concern about the effectiveness of these small Wi-Fi changes, but I know these seem small, but when you add them to all the other small changes, they should lower your risk. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying you're going to keep every hacker out. But again, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun your neighbor. So you don't have to be impervious to hacking. You just need to be less easy to hack than your neighbor. Also, we have to remember, with data breaches becoming more common, foreign countries attacking our information systems, and the US-based scammers becoming more bold, and the use of artificial intelligence making all these attacks easier, we must take the time to protect our families and our friends. You can go from constantly worrying about who or what is on your network to knowing that you did your best to lock it down, and you know where to look if something suspicious is happening and is not right. When you hear of another huge data breach, instead of being constantly concerned about your usernames and passwords, you can calmly check your information system and evaluate if your system passwords need to be changed or updated. You can even call your identity theft protection company and see if they have any recommendations in light of the additional data breaches. That's where I want to get you guys to be. Also, what if your home or business is destroyed in a flood or natural disaster? Would you lose your photos, videos, and important digital information? Or would you be able to go to your safety deposit box at your bank and just restore your data from your backup that you have stored there? In a time of great adversity like this, knowing that your passwords are secure, your network customized, and your data backed up would free you up to focus on the things that really matter: protecting your family and caring for those you care about, and restoring your business. Following the step-by-step instruction I've laid out in these 3 emails and videos could do just that. And today we're going to learn about how to back up and organize your data. First things first. This can be done 100,000 plus different ways, and I understand that I am sharing a lot of opinion in this section and a lot of personal preference. However, I am doing so to simplify the backup process so that it can work for non-technical people and technical people. Also, we're going to start from the smallest part to the greatest part, and this section is primarily for Windows users, as I have no Mac devices except for an iPad. That being said, this process would work for Macs with some small modifications. Okay, second things second. Once you have the process learned, all of these details can be customized and modified to your liking, as long as the following is not skipped. 1, every now and then, back up all your critical data. Once a day, once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year. You choose, okay? It just needs to happen periodically. Number 2, take a full copy of that data from your home devices and store it off-site where you are confident it won't be lost. You could do this through cloud storage, bank safety deposit box, work desk with a lock, storage unit, etc. Let's talk about organizing your data. We're going to start with saving your files. Saving files. Whenever saving files, be mindful of how important this file is to you. Try to add date and time information to the file, as well as a brief 1 to 3 words about what it is. This makes viewing and sorting easier. Example, I like my files to start with the date created, so I generally create files with the following structure: year, month, day, what the file is about. For example, let's say I created a funny cat picture. This would be the dates, that would be the year, and then this is a funny cat picture face. At a quick glance, I can see when I saved or created the file and what it is about. Let's talk about folder creation. This is a little bit more complicated, but I do want to share something that's really cool. My wife has a very cool way of storing data. Now, I tend to group my things by subject. However, most people probably have no organizational plan at all. Let's talk about photos first. As I said, my wife has a really cool organization system for storing photos. What she does is she creates a year folder, and then inside that year she creates month folders. As she takes pictures and videos, she will store them by month. This is such a cool idea. When I first saw this, I was blown away by it because it's so simple. So if I take a vacation, let's say it's September 2022, I could just go back to 2022, open the September folder, and locate all the files. Cool thing about photos nowadays is they're usually stored with those date and time stamps on them. So that makes it really easy to go back at those times and locate those files. Videos, I use the same organizational structure as with photos. Documents. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. For me, I tend to create subjects or projects that I can group my documents into. So if I'm working on a particular project I access frequently, I will place an underscore at the beginning of the folder name. For example, if I'm refinancing my house, maybe I will do this. I will put possibly an underscore refinance in the folder name. And what that does is that makes the folder show up alphabetically first, because that symbol is alphabetically before A, and so it will actually make your folder show up at the top of your list if you're sorting them by alphabet, which is the default. So the base folders that I usually build are kind of like this. So I'll have a household folder or home, and then I'll have a work folder, personal goals, family, hobbies. Now underneath the household, I'll do finances, bills, healthcare, real estate, retirement, and information systems. And I'll have my network, ID theft protection. All my digital documents that relate to these things, I'll store in these folders. And then what I'll do is use that folder structure to make good backups. We're just going to grab the whole document pile and photo pile and video pile and just drag it over. Let me show you how that works. This backup process, I'm going to email it out to y'all. If you guys need a copy of it, just sign up for my email list and ask for it specifically, and I'll send it to you. I have not posted this to my blog yet, but it'll probably be up there in about a week or so. And it's actually a checklist. This is actually a checklist, so you can go through and do an inventory of all your stuff and figure out this backup process. You can follow this backup process. It'll give you a backup of all your data if you're on a Windows computer. First things first, we're looking at your whole house. And when we're doing that, the first thing you're going to have to do is take an inventory of all your device storage sizes throughout your household. What does that mean? Well, how big is your cell phone? Is it 128 gigabytes? Is it 512 gigabytes? Is it 64 gigabytes? Doesn't really matter. Just write it down. How much space is it? And write that down. Do an inventory. And in this example, you can see here, we've got a phone. It's about somewhere between 64 and 1 terabyte. Generally, my laptop's 1 terabyte. My wife's laptop, 1 terabyte. My kids have pretty small hard drives. And then my work one, I don't have to worry about because it's actually, I can't back up stuff at home for that. This is if you were working from home and you had your own business or something like that. You need to back up your work stuff. That's fine. Now, what you do is you take that and you total it up. My total is right here. It's about 5 terabytes. Okay. What I want to do is I want to get a storage device, a backup hard drive. You can get them at Walmart, Best Buy. I think I get mine at Costco. You can get them on Amazon. get one that's really, it's 2 to 10 times larger than your total. As you get more and more data, that gets pretty price restrictive. Okay, a 50 terabyte backup hard drive is probably not cheap. And then you're looking at network attached storage devices, and we're not going to go there right now. Get a backup hard drive. We're going to need about 10 to 25 terabytes. And the first thing you're going to do is locate on your computer your files. And let me show you how to do that real quick. Locate your files on your computer. First thing you're going to do is hit the start button. Oh, okay. Actually, I have the steps right here. This is great. I forgot about that. Okay. So step 1, hit the Windows key. All right. You'll get this little window thing. See it? Get this window menu. Now you start typing File Explorer and just hit enter. Actually, you could click on it with the mouse if you want, but I just like to hit enter. And then you're going to get this file structure. This file structure is totally confusing to me. It's got this quick access thing. It's got the favorites at the bottom. I don't like it, so I ignore it. But you can use it if you want, but I just can't do it. So go to where it says home here. This is called the address bar. And you're just going to type this PC and select it. Now, what you do is you take your C drive and you open it up. The one that's really important that we're all looking for is this one here, users. And then you're going to locate, I should say, non-generic looking user listed there. That's going to be your profile. In my case, my main profile is this one. These two are actually Windows default ones. This one is another profile that I have on my computer, but this is my computer. The main thing here, this is all your data. And what I'm going to do, what you can see is there is a lot of folders. Some of them are important, some of them are not, but we're going to grab all of them. And there's even files here where I saved things from some benchmark tests I was doing. We're just going to grab everything. The way I like to do that is if you go right here to these 3 dots, you hit that button, you hit select all, boom, it will copy everything. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to hit a key here. I'm going to hold down the control key on the keyboard, control, and I'm going to hit the N key, which is N for new. That will open a new Explorer window. And at this point, you can do that control N to open a new Explorer window, or you can just plug in your hard drive that you bought. Make sure that you plug all the power cords in first, then take the USB cable, plug it into the hard drive, and then plug it into your computer. And this will actually pop up on that drive usually. If you go to this PC again, hit enter, you'll see all the hard drives that are connected to your computer. If you bought like a Seagate or a Western Digital or something to that effect, it'll actually say it, just like this one, Seagate, backup plus drive. So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna double click that. I'm gonna go up to here. So now we're on that backup drive, and I'm gonna hit new. And we're going to create folder, and I am just going to call it, this normally would just come up looking like this. So this new folder, I'm just going to call it backup, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit enter again. Now I'm in that backup folder, inside the backup folder on my Seagate hard drive. See that? Now I'm in the backup folder, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another folder, and this folder is very important. Let's create a new folder. And then what we're going to call it is, you can right click and go to this icon if you need to rename it. We're going to name it today's date, 2024-04, and then 19. Now, you can just do all hyphens here. You don't have to do what I'm doing. But this is my computer, Dan's computer. So I'm going to say Dan's computer. This is going to be my backup folder for that date. So I'm going to hit enter. That's going to put me inside that folder. You can see it right here. I'm on the F drive in the backup folder inside the Dan's folder. Okay, now I'm going to move this guy out of the way. I'm going to go back to here. All this is still selected. I'm going to hit this icon here, which is copy. Or you can hit Control C, hold down Control and hit the C key. That's a shortcut, a keyboard shortcut. Hit copy. And then I'm going to come over here. There is a paste option, which is this clipboard, like 2 rectangles looking thing, and hit paste. Now what's happening is all the data from my C drive is heading to my F drive or my backup drive. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. But this is going to take like an hour or 2 hours. Okay, it can be very long. So just be patient with it. Once you get this started, go get some coffee, get a book, and sit here and just watch it. Because every now and then it's going to tell you stuff or it's going to ask you stuff. Don't worry about that. You just got to kind of watch it. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. But as you can see, it already started putting those folders that are right here into this system. Now, some of these folders are system folders. You don't need to copy them. But for right now, just so we have a full backup, we're going to copy it all. So that's how you do a backup. Once you have done that, and all of that is laid out here in step-by-step instructions, okay? Once that copy completes, just get comfortable. It'll take like 2 or 3 hours, but you don't actually have to be doing anything. You could just watch it while you're doing something else. And that's it. Now you've made your first backup, and you have a backup of all your files, and you will be able to recover. If your system ever goes down, you'll have a backup. Congratulations, you just finished your first backup. That's great. Repeat this process for every computer in your house. If you want it to go really, really fast, you can get SSD hard drives. However, they are more expensive. Now, once you're done, take that hard drive and put it in a safe deposit box or a climate-controlled storage unit or your work desktop with a lock. You could even use something like Amazon has a service called S3 Glacier, which is cold storage system. And what that means is you can slowly upload that information to them, and they allow you to download it as fast or as slow as you want, depending on how much you pay them. So if you are just doing this as an emergency backup, you can say, I want the slowest restore possible, but I definitely need all my storage in the cloud. Amazon has that option for you. There are other places that have options like that as well. I'm not super familiar with those other places. I know also if you're just doing just photos and you have an Amazon Prime account, you can store all your photos for free on Amazon Prime. That's it. You can also do this with other devices, laptops, tablets, cell phones, etc. But the file structure on those are going to be a little bit different, and the things that you need to back up and save, because most of that stuff is synchronized to the cloud. So you don't have to go crazy with your settings and that sort of thing. They just have different file structures. So do this about once a quarter or once a month, depending on how much you think you need to back up, until your drive is full, and then go buy another one. The other thing you can do, which can be a little bit more risky, is start deleting your old backups. If you're on a budget, that's totally fine. Just make sure you don't delete something that you don't have in a newer backup. If I backed up all my stuff today, deleted all my files, and then 6 months from now, I delete today's backup, my newer backups are not going to have the files I deleted today. So I got to be mindful of that. I got to make sure that I grab those files, or that I'm comfortable with those files going away forever. You got to think about those things. That's why I tend to just grab a hard drive, get it as big as I can afford, fill it up over 3 or 4 years, and then just buy another hard drive and continue. That way I have a copy of everything. Now there's another process you can do which can eliminate that need for keeping all the backups, where you copy those files into master folders, and then I call them master folders. I don't know if that's the actual storage name for it. That's the way I look at it. And then you can delete the dated backup ones as long as your master files, the master folders, contain all the files from every backup. You want to have both if you can, but if you are just starting out, this is the backup system that I recommend because it's super simple. It will keep you able to restore 90% of your files if you get into a jam, and it will give you the peace of mind that you're not going to lose everything. And again, this is the most simple form of backup. One other thing on that, take that copy and store it off site so that if your house burns down, God forbid your house burns down, you will have a file system to fall back on. All right, now friends and family, I have something important to mention to you. In my next video, you're going to have an offer, an opportunity to join my first training course. This course is designed to take you from being worried about your network and information security to being the hardest target on your block so that you can sleep at night, knowing you've taken every precaution where others have not, and that you won't lose everything if there's a catastrophic failure. It is designed with non-IT people in mind, but I have also consulted with other IT professionals to improve the content and the presentation. If you are ready to make this transformation, then this course is for you. I'm only going to open registration up for about 5 days, so be sure to act when the opportunity arises. And please leave a comment on this video or any of the shorts that launch from this video. And as always, I hope this helps you. All right, God bless you. Have a great night. Peace. Oh, and share this with anyone that you think might benefit from it.